Hello everybody and welcome to the May 30th, 2018 edition of the Ephrom Josine Show. I am your host, Ephrom Josine. Now guys, I got some big news today. This is something you wouldn't expect. I didn't even expect it. Okay, prepare yourselves. Republicans have given another very downright nonsensical reason as to why they hate Planned Parenthood. I know, I was surprised too. Yes, the Daily Wire released a new article today, and I wanted to kill this thing before it started, by the way, because it's interesting. Report, Planned Parenthood caught doing abortions on 12-year-old sexual assault victims. Okay, I mean, if they're sexual assault victims, I guess that's fine. Then not reporting abuse. Okay. Let's analyze the article. A new report from the pro-life group, Live Action, absolutely no bias there, by the way. It should be noted, by the way, that whenever one of Live Action's claims, because Live Action is not even really, calling it a pro-life group would be somewhat inaccurate, it's more just a direct anti-Planned Parenthood group. It should be known that any time they've ever exposed something, and their exposés are typically downright nonsensical, the person who's involved is fired. Just directly. They never seem to mention that one, you know? Oh, but we're not even a full line into this article so far. Reveals that Planned Parenthood abortion clinics have performed numerous abortions on sexual abuse victims as young as 12 and 13-year-olds without notifying authorities of the abuse, then setting the victims back to where they were preyed on. Well, there's actually a very simple reason for that. You see, let's say hypothetically that they did report every case of sexual abuse they got. Then somebody, will say, for the sake of argument, just some girl's father, sexually abused her and got her pregnant. What are the odds that you think that the father would let her go to a Planned Parenthood if he knew that he was going to be reported to the authorities? Now tell me, what do you think the odds are? So then that woman, or that girl really, she's like 13 in this scenario, is forced to have a child, which would only give the person abusing her more authority, by the way. You see, this is the thing about the Daily Wire, especially when they attack things like abortion, or the economy, or really anything. They have a very black and white view of things. This sounds outrageous in a headline. Let's write a full article on it and not consider why it's happening. I literally just told you everything you need to know about the story before the first paragraph was done, by the way. Yeah, this guy, Hank Bernin, I think is how it's pronounced. He's not a very good journalist, to say the least. Mind you, the only way that this story could get even more ridiculous is if, say, Matt Walsh covered it. Wait, Matt Walsh hasn't said anything about this yet? Huh. Maybe I have an inverse effect. Let me try something. I mean, the only way this could get even crazier or even worse is if Courtney Kirchoff covered it. She covered it, didn't she? Why wouldn't one of the hackiest right-wing journalists have covered this? Let's read. When your best-selling item is a dismembered baby, that's a downright lie. Planned Parenthood has never sold fetus parts or anything. That's all this weird conspiracy theory has been long debunked that I'm not even going into it here. Don't expect a side of ethics anywhere on the menu. Well, that'd just be a weird thing to order, like even at McDonald's. Hey, I'd like a Big Mac, a side of ethics, please. Yes, abortion is about money. The left selling abortion as woman's body autonomy. There were about 4 grammar mistakes in there. Issue is pure marketing genius, from which they've cashed in billions. How much of that money is from terminating the pregnancies of sexual abuse victims is a number we may never know. Well, it means it's higher than the one we do know, actually, which I guess is a little bit of benefit on their side. Yes, Planned Parenthood covers up for sexual abusers. Note the absence of allegedly. I just explained why they did this a few minutes ago. It's really not a hard thing to figure out. Look, the thing is, you cannot always help someone 100%. And the fact is, there are circumstances where even helping them 20% is better than not helping them at all. I think you'd agree to that. This is why they are doing this. It is not a hard thing to figure out. But instead they have this simplistic view of the world that's honestly always shared by 8-year-olds. Just, well, there's only good, there's only evil, and evil fights good, boom, boom, with the lightsabers, too. Don't forget the lightsabers. While the left claims the mantle of fighting sexual abuse, they're actively engaging in covering up sexual abuse. Ah, dang it, they found our secret leftist meetings. Who let you in? Was it Dennis? It was Dennis, wasn't it? We need to fire Dennis. Guys, look, next meeting, first order of business is to fire Dennis. We're not making it a secret anymore because Dennis screwed it up, and now Courtney Kirchoff, the genius writer over at Louder with Crowder, knows. Live action is just exposing in the open secret. Again, we can hardly expect Planned Parenthood to be a champion of children's rights when they've actively killed children while claiming it's their right. Okay, this is my favorite part because they actually do have a source for this. You want to know what it is? It's an article. It's another Louder with Crowder article, by the way, because they almost never have outside sources. It's always them sourcing back to themselves because they're rampant egotists. And Kirchoff had a part in writing this article, by the way, about how Bill Nye personally supports Planned Parenthood because he agrees with population control. Bill Nye, in case you are wondering, has never worked at a Planned Parenthood, has no say in what direction a company goes, does not in any way have any... This is an idiotic scandal. This is just completely idiotic. And they think they're being witty while writing this. That's what annoys me the most, is all of these writers. You know, Ann Coulter's one of them, Kirchoff is one of them, Walsh is one of them, where they just think, I'm being clever and witty with all my great wordplay. No, you're not. God. That's a tangent for another day, though. There's soda fizzing over here. I don't know if you guys can even hear it. But I can, so I assume you can. Okay, back to the article. For people who provide a pro-life witness at abortion clinics, the notion that Planned Parenthood covers up for sexual abuse is about as shocking as hearing Amy Schumer is, in fact, not a virgin. It's funny because Amy Schumer is also a thing that exists. And a thing Steven Crowder doesn't, individual Courtney Kirchoff does not like. Okay, here's some more greatness. The whole idea of abortion. Idea of abortion is to make a pregnancy disappear. A pregnancy is evidence of sexual intercourse. You don't say. You may think I'm explaining this rather simplistically, right? Well, yeah. Because if a girl has been raped by an adult and she's pregnant, what better way to clear your guilt than by cleansing the girl's uterus of the evidence? So let the person who abused her have more control by adding a child into the equation, or really a second child, but you know what I mean. But even then, am I the only who thinks this is kind of psychopathic? Just, I can imagine that kid. Hey, mommy, why do I, bleh. Hey, mommy, why was I born? Oh, well, you see, your father raped me, and I just kept you around for evidence. Just saying, a little screwed up there. Abortion has never been about body autonomy, choices, or freedom. It's always been about murdering a child so someone else could continue living as they wished. Um, Personally, I think that, the person who was living as they wished was the person who was sexually abused and not having to deal with the child. And even then, that's not really how they wished, unless you think they wanted it. In this case, so that a man might continue abusing women and girls without consequences. That just doesn't make any sense. I've explained why this doesn't make any sense. Your idea is completely nonsensical. And that's what it is. Just had to get this one defeated before it started up, by the way. Because I know, mark my words, within the next week, every Republican news site will be talking about this. And now I have debunked it. So I'm ahead of the curve, all of you. That's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.